and welcome back. We're live on the expo floor of the AWS Summit here in New York City, and we're here to talk about all the latest and greatest launches and announcements from AWS. I'm your host, Nathan Peck, a developer advocate at AWS, and I'm joined by two guests today.
Yeah, hey everybody, I'm Danny Traphagen. I'm a senior SA and I specialize in healthcare and life sciences customers in the startups org. And I'm really excited to introduce our guest for today. He's going to be talking about some amazing stuff that's rolling out from training and certification, and I'll pass it over to you.
Hi, I'm Michael Blyle. I'm a senior product manager in training and certification working on our new badge product. So, for years, our customers really been asking us for, could you do a learning badge? Can you do a way for us to really validate knowledge and skills? And I'm really excited to say in January we launched two new badges for storage, for object and block storage. And they've really been very, very successful. A lot of people going through them, getting that digital badge that's a credential that they can then put on their LinkedIn or their social media pages or use in their resumes.
Wow. So let me ask. So these AWS Learning Badges, what are they exactly? Like, how do I see them? How do I interact with them? It's like I like the idea of collecting things, obviously, but where do I actually go to see my badges?
That's a great question. The badges are digital, so they go through a digital clearinghouse called Credly. So once you pass the assessment that we have set up for the learning plan, and we can talk about that, and I can show you that in Skill Builder. Once you pass that assessment, we go and use Credly, which is a third-party validation, and you will get a digital badge, and that digital badge, like I said, can be put, on your LinkedIn account, it can be on your Facebook account, or you can put it in your resume.
So I get some bragging rights. I can be like,
Yeah.
I learned this topic. I learned it so well that I got an official badge, and now I can show it off wherever I want to. My personal blog, my social media, wherever.
It's like AWS Flair.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And when you do go to the badge, it tells you exactly the skills that are aligned to that badge. So everybody can see, not that it's just the object badge, but what skills and what topics are covered under that badge also.
So maybe you could unpack for us, like, who is the ideal person for these badges? Like, who should I be if I want a badge?
Well, for object and block storage, I think you're going to want to be interested in object and block storage. But
Don't say. Okay.
But you can come in with any level of knowledge. We have built these badges so that there's a complete free learning plan that has over 9 hours of digital content. So you can be at the most beginning level, come in and go through all that course material, and then sit and take your badge. Or you can go, and I suggest people do this, come in, go to that learning plan assessment for that badge, and go ahead and take that assessment. You're going to get a score report that's going to tell you what areas you are really good in and what areas that you maybe need a little remediation on. And then we're going to point you back to those high quality digital course assets within the learning plan to close those gaps for you so that you can ultimately pass that assessment, which you need to pass with an 80% or better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask, like traditionally, like with a certification, maybe I'm putting some money on the line, so I want to study up really hard before I take the test because I
got one shot at it.
Yeah, I'm paying for this.
Yeah.
Is there any obligation with these badges? Like you said like maybe I would take it before I even know the topic.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's much a more lighter barrier to entry, less risk involved.
Yes.
No obligation for me.
One of the things that we're trying to do with these badges are help people upskill and show that they have the knowledge and the skills around that particular badge. So our badges are free.
Nice.
The learning plans are free. You just have to have a Skill Builder account, and you can take that assessment over and over again. We just ask, you have to wait 24 hours between taking it.
Give you a little bit of time to study the material.
Yeah, a little bit of time to study the material.
Yeah. Have a little nap.
Yeah.
Have a little caffeine. Redo.
Or you can maybe alternate and take, if you're going for two badges, do one each other day. But you can come in with a lot of knowledge and just take the assessment and pass it with that 80% and you'll get a badge. Or you can come in absolutely brand new and go through that learning plan and step your way up to that knowledge to ultimately obtaining that badge through the assessment.
So it sounds like it's self-paced, you know? It's kind of choose your own adventure. You go through, you understand whether or not you have that prerequisite knowledge, and a badge is a way of indicating that. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know, we could go ahead and go right into Skill Builder and take a look at it,
I
okay?
think that we should, Michael.
Great.
Let's take a look and see what it looks like.
Yeah.
So you're going to go to skillbuilder.aws.com, and you're going to come to your Skill Builder. I just did a quick search for object storage, and I see this storage learning plan. So if I click on that, I'm going to get all the courses that are in this learning plan. And as you can see, there's a bunch of courses in here.
Oh, yeah.
That's
But
14 hours of material there.
Yeah, 14 hours of material. The test itself, or the assessment, is about 50 questions. And that's what it looks like. You get your little object badge there. And I've already gone in and started this. So this is in my personal learning account. I'm allowed to resume anytime I want, so I can go back to that. Oh, it's asking me to sign back in. Sorry about that. While that's loading, I'll show you what the Credly badge looks like.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
This is the Credly site. Once you're awarded your badge, you'll come here, you create an account, and your badge will be waiting for you. And as you can see, it tells you the different skills and the criteria for earning this badge.
That's cool.
So this is a really good way for you to assess if you're an SME in a given topic. Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah. Cool.
absolutely. If we go back to where I left off on my test, this is, I did not pass 25.4.
Good attempt.
I
Good
do
attempt,
not know a
There
lot.
was an attempt.
There was an attempt. But as you come in, before you start, as you start the test, once you go through it, no matter what you score, you do have to score that 80% to pass, but you'll get this score report like we talked about. So this lists out each of the different courses that are in that learning plan and how well I performed on them. So
I see. So out of that, like 14 hours of content, each of those is like one of those 1 hour teaching modules. And so if I see like really low percentage on, you know, security, S3 security, then I'd be like, okay, well, that's where
maybe
I need to touch
maybe
up.
I need to take that course again, or for the
Right.
first time.
Right.
Right.
No, that's really cool. I know I have a number of customers that would be really interested in something like this and would apply to them specifically. What are some things that students can expect to learn?
So for Object and Block, we're covering everything in those courses, from getting started with AWS storage to really diving deep and focusing on different aspects of those storage services that we offer. We'll be, hopefully in the future here, we'll be launching 3 more badges. We'll be launching File to have that trifecta of Block, Object, and File. Then we'll also be doing a disaster recovery and data protection badge, and we'll also be doing a data migration badge coming up in the near future.
Wow, that's pretty good. Yeah, those are all great, fantastic topics. And I can imagine so many more that could be added as well.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
there are a lot of different opportunities out there for us to put together more of these learning badges. Again, that idea is, how do we step somebody from the very basics up to a certain skill level, and then give them that digital badge to be able to show off to employers, colleagues, even themselves, that I actually do have this knowledge and skills.
So it sounds like there's more badges that are coming, maybe?
There are more badges that
Oh,
are coming.
Sweet. Okay. And maybe you can pull the curtain back for us and just tell us, how do you go about the process of creating the badges for these
Yeah.
assessments?
Yeah. So the process, we really work very closely with our subject matter experts that know that topic area really well. We sit down with them, we look at different personas, we build out objectives so that we understand when somebody has this badge what skills they're going to need. Then we work with our great curriculum development team. We build those courses out. We then source with SMEs the different questions, making sure that they really are at that level, that they're not just, hey, can I memorize a bunch of stuff, right? We really want somebody, when they get this badge, to know that they have that skills and knowledge to do what is required for that topic area. And then we build the badge out. We will go back and test with our SMEs to make sure that the assessment is at the right level and that the content is proper. And then we release it. And then we work with Threadly to go ahead and validate that those skills are available with that digital badge.
So it sounds like you're trying to hit a good balance there between, this isn't like a leap coding, like whiteboard test, right, of like writing code, but it's also not just like one of those generic multiple choice questions where you read through it and it says like, which is the right option, and the obvious answer is just like all of the above, right? It's not going to be like a walk in the park either. So you're aiming for the mid-level in between where you're learning something that's actually practical. It's something that will actually help you to get a job, help you to do a particular role better, without being like too easy, not being too hard either.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that.
not. It is not what we would call a high stakes exam like a certification. But it is a rigorous assessment,
Yeah.
and that's why we allow you. You can take this. It's completely open book. I mean, and you can pause it. So a lot of times it should take you about an hour and a half, maybe, to complete an assessment. But if you need to stop, you get pulled away, you can pause it, you can come back to it at any point, and you can take it multiple times. Like we talked about earlier, go in, just take the assessment, see how you did, and then go back and focus your learning on those areas that you need improvement.
I really like this because, some of the challenges are in modern life, right? We, might have an exam that is totally abstract from the concept that we're going to Google stuff in our day-to-day jobs. Like, basically, like, we're all experts of search tools, and our Google foo is very high, right? So, like, I like that you can pause this, you can restart this, you can go and brush up on a given topic. I mean, that's what you're going to do in your job day-to-day anyway, but the questions are really posed in such a way that you're very much focused on, okay, this is, what I need to know per subject matter experts, people who know this content really well, who are internal to AWS and have really curated something that is a learning plan for me to go about and find the areas that I'm going to really be able to scale my knowledge, for my team or for me personally. So I really like that aspect of this. This is a cool thing.
And folks, our customers have been asking for a long time. We're just really excited that we're able to get these two badges out in January, and just to see the reaction of people.
With more to come.
With more to come, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just to see the reaction of people posting it on their LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I know when I was building the assessment, I had to validate that it worked, so I passed, and I got my badge.
Did you get some recruiters reach out to you?
Well, I put it on Facebook, and my whole family was like, congratulations on your promotion.
That's awesome.
I needed just the link,
Yeah.
I like that.
but that begs a really interesting point. So, like, would this be a good way for, various employers to say, oh, okay, this person kind of has that knowledge base?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is our plan, going forward, is to give customers a digital way to validate that they have knowledge and skills around a certain topic area.
Yeah, that's amazing, because like every day I get somebody reaching out to me like over Twitter DM asking like, how can I learn AWS? How can I get my first job in working for a company doing cloud infrastructure? And I always tell them, well, you'll probably want to go through a certification path or like training path to learn some of these skills, because getting your first role working in the cloud can be a little bit tough. Like employers are like, I don't know if I want to trust you with a production AWS account yet, right?
Yeah.
But if you have passed some of these training badges, you have sort of a low stakes way to show that you've learned some of these skills and break into the industry, and then reach that next level of, now you have that experience you can take to the next role, to the next role, to the next role, and
absolutely.
build your
And
career.
the badges can be a path to certification too. As we develop more badges, certifications are usually larger, for architecting, associate, or professional. But there may be badges along the way that will help prepare you eventually for sitting for that certification. When you get those folks, send them to Skill Builder. It's
I will.
absolutely free. We also have a digital subscription offering, but our learning plans are really built that way to help people onboard and ramp up their cloud skills. So they'll find learning plans for architecting, for developing, for cloud essentials.
So let me ask philosophically with these learning badges, am I gonna see like a learning badge for AWS Fargate, a learning badge for like Kinesis, or am I gonna see a learning badge more for general topics like storage or like compute?
I think that's a great question. We're going to be really looking at what are those holistic skills. So it's never one service that somebody has that now they're going to go and do a job in the cloud, right?
There's docs for that, right?
Right.
Like there's
Right.
other ways of getting hands-on and stuff, right?
This is more of that holistic persona of I'm responsible for my storage strategy at XYZ company,
Right.
and I need to understand file, and I need to understand block, and I need to understand object, so that approach versus just a badge for RDS.
So aiming more at a problem solution space like durable database storage or something like that,
Yeah.
or like
Right.
disaster recovery, not just like, oh, you're going to learn everything about DynamoDB.
Right, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense.
Exactly,
Yeah. Wow.
Very cool. So it's very much like standing on the shoulders of giants, right? We have these important concepts in tech to be able to do our functions really well. And so you've taken those experts, you have created content that really makes sense for these types of personas to go through, and then they get the badge and they can indicate to potential prospective employers or their current employer that they're kind of going above and beyond and learning more about the topic
Yeah.
at hand.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So where do I go to get started with this? If I want to get my first badge.
You want to get your first badge, you want to go to skillbuilder.aws.
And
You
do I need an AWS account?
You just need an Amazon account.
So I could just have an Amazon account that I use for buying socks on
Exactly.
Amazon.com.
Exactly.
And I can,
That's the same one I
Yeah.
use.
Nice.
And then it's free to create your profile and go in, do a search for either object storage or block storage. You'll see that learning plan, enroll in it, and have at it.
Fantastic.
mean to
Maybe we
tell
can get
me-
the link actually dropped into the chat.
Oh
for,
yeah, let's
for
do that.
folks who
Let's do
are,
that for sure. The link for
folks who are watching.
for that. But so you mean to tell me that basically I could go to my Amazon account, I could buy some socks with, I don't know, some twisted octopuses on them, and then you mean to tell me that after that I could go and get a badge?
Yes.
Just with that account.
Yeah.
Like I don't need an AWS account.
Anybody with the Amazon account, you don't even have to have an AWS account yet.
Yeah, you don't have to have it, just
I like
an
that.
Amazon account.
You don't even have to have socks.
You don't even have to have socks.
You could just totally not have any socks at all and still get one of these badges.
Yes. Yeah.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
All right. I like that a lot. That's a really
Well,
great
I
approach.
look forward to folks getting these badges, seeing more of them popping up on LinkedIn, and hearing from the folks who are using that as their entry point to learning the cloud. So great work here, and definitely to all our viewers, go out there, check out the badges, and see how many you can get.
Skillbuilder.aws. That's what you want.
That's what you want.
That's what you want.